Chapter 22, Father of American Painting. It was a morning, clear and joyous, in the summer of 1898. Nearly 150 years had passed since the little red sleigh set out for Philadelphia. Knots of people were gathering about an old stone house in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. An American flag veiled the space between two windows of the house. It stirred lightly with the wind, but gave no hint of what was underneath. For several hours the crowds kept on coming, in surreys and gigs and high spring wagons. Men in tan derby hats stroked their chin whiskers and pulled out from their vest pockets enormous gold watches on long chains. Ladies in tiny black bonnets and long silk skirts rustled their children into a little half circle about the flag. As the morning wore on, sun parasols popped out, thick as mushrooms after a rain. At last a man with a trim white beard took his place before the flag. "It's the Reverend Mr. Joseph Vance," the word went around. Voices quieted. An expectant hush settled down over the wide green lawn. "Friends," came the deep-toned voice of the Reverend Mr. Vance, "we are gathered here to keep green the memory of Benjamin West. 160 years ago he was born in the south room of this house." And while the bees played an obligato and a wren sputtered at the disturbance, Mr. Vance began to draw little pictures in everyone's mind. He showed the boy, Benjamin, making a hair pencil from the fur of his cat's tail. He showed him with the Indians digging his colors from the earth. He showed him standing, trembling and fearful before the elders and overseers, hoping they would not call him off from his painting. He showed him studying history at the Academy of Philadelphia and painting miniatures to earn his keep. Then he transported his hearers across the ocean, where Benjamin West became president of the Royal Academy of England and court painter to His Majesty George III, King of Great Britain and Ireland. "Friends," said Mr. Vance as he measured his words with slow purpose, "it was Benjamin West who first dared to paint historical figures as they actually appeared. Indians in their war paint, British officers in their scarlet coats. Other artists of his day held to the old custom of clothing all historical figures in long white mantles called togas." A slow smile spread over Mr. Vance's face. "I like to picture Benjamin West wearing his Quaker hat in Windsor Palace and refusing a knighthood because, as he himself told the king, to Quakers titles are needless. The only title we covet is that of friend." When at last the Reverend Mr. Vance folded his paper and slipped it into its envelope, W. Benjamin West, a descendant of Benjamin's brother Samuel, stepped up to the flag. With trembling fingers he drew a cord. The flag rose, and there, placed in the stone of the wall, was a memorial tablet. He read the inscription in a clear voice so that it carried to the very outer fringe of the gathering. In the quiet that followed, the boys and girls began to sing the Star-Spangled Banner. Their voices were high and thin at first, but as the grown-ups joined in, the notes swelled until they carried as far as the little community of Westdale, named for Benjamin West. Long seconds after the last note had been sung, the crowd stood still. They had journeyed so far back into America that they were a long time returning. Slowly the sun umbrellas clicked shut. Slowly the people walked back to their horses. They still seemed part of the long ago and the far away. They had struggled with the boy Benjamin as he overcame great odds. They had watched the boy grow until he became the father of American painting. It was not easy for them to begin talking in their everyday voices, as if nothing had happened to them. Something had happened to them. They had gone a-leafing and found a page in American history. Benjamin West, President of the Royal Academy, was born in this house, 8th month, 10, 1738, placed by the Delaware County Historical Society.